What's up, family? Andy here with today's pro tip. Strained for time? Too much going on? Trying to complete 30 hours of tasks in a 24-hour day and still want to hear all the Puka Minute episodes? Have no fear, for I am here. From now on, I will be giving you a new segment before the beginning of each podcast episode, where I'll be giving you a brief synopsis of everything that will be discussed today. Call it your Andy Minute, or hell, maybe that's what we all meant for Puka Minute to mean anyway. Now that I have your attention, let me tell you what you need to know about today's episode if you don't have the time to listen to the full version with Marcus and the team. Yes, this will happen each week, so hopefully you totally love the soothing sound of my voice. Today, Marcus and Dizit will be going over all the information in depth about avoiding being taxed with buying, selling, trading your MTG loot. We learned that Yanni doesn't make this episode after trying to get coffee because he ends up getting deer meat instead. Marcus delves into his personal experience about he was hit with a $10,000 bill from the IRS due to PayPal sending his transaction information directly to them for surpassing the $20,000 limit of incoming funds. He explains that PayPal will automatically send you a 1099-K form so you can claim your funds as non-taxable due to the money originally spent on goods. Marcus explains why we don't throw away important mail and gives us insight on why we are all safe with our PayPal if we just have good record keeping. Another helpful tool is if we have a significant other willing to get a PayPal. It's a way to stretch the threshold to $40,000 so you can avoid the paperwork and tax headaches. So, if you want the full version, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Puka's Mischief. 3 colorless and a blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exchange control of target non-land permanent you control and target non-land permanent an opponent controls with an equal or lesser converted mana cost. After talking with Eric Freytag, the CEO and founder of Puka Trade, a few weeks ago for episode 100 of the Puka Minute podcast, he enlightened us on why he picked the name Puka Trade. So, the future of Puka Minute isn't going to be just 100% Puka Trade. But our name is Puka Minute, so wouldn't you think that we would be all about Puka Trade? Well, no, not necessarily. The word Puka still just derives from trading. And, well, I trade a lot, and I know all of you do too. So what we're going to do is we're just going to continue to do awesome content for all of you viewers out there. And, why change the name? We're still focusing on trading, and we still are going to use Puka Trade. We're not going to throw information out there all the time about Puka Trade, just when it's, pertinent and valuable. Today, we're going full circle. One of our first episodes ever was about selling on eBay, using PayPal, getting taxed by the IRS, and a lot of really, really bad news bears stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to talk about how I fixed it, which I never really did. We're going to talk about how you can fix it in the future, so where it never happens, or what you have to do if it already has happened. Joining me today is Dizit7, a very valued member of the Puka team. And Dizit, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm alright, still waking up.
Yeah, Yanni from Yanni's Card Kingdom would also be here with us, but he hit Bambi on the way to get Starbucks, so it's just me and you. So you're going to have to pick up the slack, dude.
That's fine.
We may or may not have a pro tip at the end of the episode from Andy, but be on the lookout for that. So there's going to be a lot of new views and viewers on this episode because I have met a lot of new traders through a Facebook group. And yes, I know I've always talked about how much I hate Facebook, but I got on Facebook just for this group. Great bunch of people. There's a couple thousand of them on there. And the other day, I saw a random comment about this specific trader worrying about being taxed because of all of the buying and selling and all the mumbo jumbo using PayPal, which sparked my memory when, I don't know if do you remember my issue, Dizit?
I do.
Yeah. So basically it sparked my memory and it made me say, don't worry, I've got your backs, guys. Just go ahead and listen to my next episode of the Puka Minute. So basically I, committed to doing an episode about the IRS, tax, and PayPal and eBay and trading all in general. And, basically anyone that moves Magic the Gathering cards is going to want to listen to this episode, which is really great for us because we get the views. Hopefully we can gain some subscribers. By the way, click that subscribe button, hit that like button too. It helps us out, shows the world what we are. But so it's a great opportunity to spread our wings a little bit and give some information to people that really want it and need it. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't even know they need this information, but they're going to find out after listening to it that they definitely might need the information. I say might, but we'll all figure that out. So let's start off with the issue that I had, so we can go full circle here. This is going to be a little bit of repeat information for those that have watched every episode of the Puka Minute, but there's going to be a lot of new viewers here, so I think this is good information. So what happened is my wife got a letter in the mail from the IRS, and at first I did not know about this letter. She thought it was junk and she threw it out. Don't ever do that. If you're a girlfriend or a wife or a fiance of a trader or of a seller on eBay or of any person that's moving cards or actually it doesn't have to be cards, it's any freaking thing that has value. If you're moving it on PayPal, don't throw it away. If the IRS sends you stuff, you might want to keep the information. Anyway, my wife threw it away. I didn't know about it, and then a couple months later she got another one. Come to find out, apparently her name is where our PayPal or PayPal credit or one of the two is linked with her. So that's why she got these letters. And then she gave me this second one and said, "Hey, can you tell me what this is?" I look at it. It's never good when your wife hands you mail asking what it is, because usually, in all of our experiences, it's a card that you ordered that you maybe shouldn't have ordered. Hey, I really wanted a Judge Force of Will from TCG Player, okay? Don't worry about it. It was only $400 at the time. Yeah. So it's always worrisome when you get something handed to you from a significant other asking, what is this?
Especially from the
Well,
IRS.
yeah. So she hands it to me and I look at it. And me being me, I skim. And I'm looking if there's like an actual statement of like, or a balance or something. So I don't really read the letter at first. I kind of skip to the back and I find a nice little, due date and balance and your original balance and your updated balance and then added interest, all that mumbo jumbo. I remember it was around $9,200. So I see this balance and I'm thinking, well, this is obviously a mistake, because why would the IRS be coming after little old me or my wife or both of us for this much money when we're not wealthy people and we're not, what's it called? When you're doing your taxes, and you claim a whole bunch of different things.
Cheating on your taxes.
Is it itemize?
I don't know.
Itemize? I think it's when you itemize everything. Anyway, so I'm thinking this cannot be real. So then I go back to the front and I read, the main portion of the letter, and basically it's saying PayPal sent us your information because you made X amount in the year of 2014. And at the time, this was all like still very confusing to me. But looking back on it now, today, that was the year that I bought and sold an unlimited version of the Power 9. So I mean that's like $6,000 right there. So the threshold is $20,000. That's a very, very important number that everyone should remember. So because X amount over $20,000 that year was I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think it was $26,000 that year that I had incoming to my PayPal account. They PayPal automatically sent it to the IRS. The IRS got no paperwork from me because obviously I didn't have a clue about, claiming this. I just thought all internet transactions were whatever. I'm sure a lot of people think that too, but that's why we're doing this. Anyway, so 26,000 of incoming money to my PayPal. And I wasn't just selling Magic the Gathering that year. I mean, I was doing a lot of garage sale, whatever. I was going to garage sales and then reselling all the stuff. I was going to antique shows, and I was going to a lot of different swamp meets and stuff. So I was doing a lot of selling that year. That was like a huge selling year for me. Anyway, so $26,000. PayPal automatically sent the info because it passed that $20,000 threshold, which everyone should write down. And then, it took, I swear, it was like a whole year. So that's why I was so confused, because all of those sales were like way behind me. 2015 wasn't that big of a year for me. I slowed way down on sales, and I had forgotten all about 2014 being a bit one of the, probably the highest year of sales I've ever had. Again, I'm not a store. I'm just a regular guy that likes to move things, mainly Magic the Gathering, as I am now. So I took that letter, and for those of you that got a letter already and you're behind, like I was behind at the time, I took that letter to the IRS building in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I think there were a lot of other things in that building, but there was like a suite for, the IRS. And holy crap, going there towards the end of the day, you might as well not even try. So take note. If you're going to go talk to the IRS, even if you're going to ask them one simple question and you don't have any other plans, you're not making a payment, you're not doing anything, you just have a question, go 30 minutes before they open, because you might be, one of the first 5 people.
So
because if you try to
So it's like
go,
going to the DMV.
well, see, the DMV, yes, it can be bad, and I'm sure it is still for a lot of cities. But you can do a lot of DMV stuff online now, like I just got a new driver's license recently,
Right.
and I did it all online. So at least the DMV is making it easier to get things done online. With the IRS, you can't call them and ask them a question. And if you can, well, congratulations. I don't know how, because I tried. So anyway, I went in towards the end of the day, huge line. I took a number. The guy, there was a officer there actually too. He's like, you might as well not even grab that, because by the time he gets to you, we're closing up. And I said, okay, no big deal. I asked him I think that was a Friday. So I asked when they opened on Monday, went back, and I was 30 minutes to 45 minutes early because I did not want to get in any crazy line. I ended up being the second person in line. There was only one person taking numbers at the time, so I waited 30 minutes for the first guy, and then I went in there, and this is exactly how it went. And this is a huge breath of fresh air for all of you that might be out there worrying about this. I handed the guy the letter, and I said, hello, sir, my name is, and here is something I got in the mail. Can you help me out and maybe explain it to me? So he took the letter, and he was maybe in his mid-30s. So he wasn't like some grouchy desk clerk guy. I'm sure he would have got grouchy towards the end of the day, but he took the letter, looked at it, smiled. Then I'm like, okay, that's kind of a good sign. The dude just smiled. Then he giggled, and I'm like, okay, a little insight, please, because I don't exactly have $10,000 laying around, or even 10% of that laying around. So basically what happened here, sir, is I'm assuming you sold stuff online. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you use PayPal? I said, yes. He said, okay, so you passed a threshold, and that threshold is $20,000. He basically explained to me that, it was all coming into one account. We'll get into that information later. And that PayPal automatically sent the information to them, which they do for everyone. So if you make $20,000 or more, no matter what, PayPal will send that information to the IRS. So there's no maybe I'll squeak by. That's not how it works. It automatically gets sent to them. So anyway, he says I don't remember what the forms are, but he handed me 3 or 4 documents and said to fill them out, and all the information you can get on here. And then I said, what else would help me, in this with this claim? And he said, do you still have all of your receipts from everything that you purchased? So let's talk about that. We have to remember that we are buying these cards from somewhere or someone. You're either buying it sealed, you're buying it online, or at your LGS after it's already opened. So we already are paying taxes on these cards. We all already do that. Unless, I guess, if you get it on eBay, maybe there's not a tax, but we're all paying for the cards at some point. All of these cards were sealed at some point and a tax was paid on those cards. So what I personally did and made mental note at that time in the meeting was I need to totally go to my 2 LGSs that I buy product from. I need to print off all of my receipts from PayPal. So basically the guy said, fill out these documents. And yeah, if you can get your receipts and documentation of your purchases, that would help out. So obviously shook the guy's hand, told him I'd get all the information done and bring it back in. So I took that whole week and I went to my LGS. I said, do you have records of old receipts? No, unless it was online. But I didn't buy my LGS stuff on, through PayPal. So basically I had him write me a letter and we notarized it saying, I'm a frequent customer. I approximately purchased X amount of dollars in the year of X. And, everything in this statement is true, blah, 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 blah. So both LGSs were willing to do that for me. So that was very helpful. And then I had a printout of all of my outgoing money from PayPal. And also later found out that in the documents I got from the IRS to fill out, one of the thing was like supplies and shipping fees. And so there's a lot of other things on here, and well, guess what? It costs money to ship cards. It costs money to buy the stuff to put the cards in envelopes, bubble mailers, whatever. It costs money to drive to the drive to the post office. It costs money for all these supplies. It costs money. Everything costs money. You know that, Deez it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything freaking costs money. So in that form, and by the way, after I totaled all of my receipts and what the LGS owner said approximately I purchased, I was like almost at $30,000 of outgoing money. I knew I didn't make any money that year. Everyone knows that you don't really do this to make money. It's not really feasible right away. I mean, you have to get a lot of luck. I mean, you'd have to buy a lot of sealed product that all of a sudden, alpha investment style stuff. Buying World Wake boxes when it first came out and holding them till now. I mean, it's really hard to make money if you're doing fast turnaround stuff because shipping absolutely obliterates your recouping your money, especially if you're using eBay. That's the killer because you're already losing like 12 to 14%. Because if you include eBay fees and PayPal fees, it hurts. So having the ability to buy and sell cards and actually make money, kind of not very feasible. Some people can make it work. I knew that in the year of 2014, I didn't make it work. The only reason that I was up or down maybe $1,000 was because of that Power 9 deal I did. But essentially, I knew that I either lost a couple grand or made a couple grand, best case scenario. But I didn't take note of every time I bought bubble mailers or every time I shipped something. Everyone do that. Deez it. Do that. Hear it from me now. It will make your life so much easier if you notate all of that stuff. Save all your receipts because you can claim it all. So if you know that you're going to be spending or selling or both more than 20 grand in a year, save all that stuff. And even if you think you might be kind of close, save it.
Even if you
Because,
think you're not doing it, do it.
yeah.
Because you never know,
So,
like, 8 months down the road.
so a 1099K form is something you should all look up. That is a very, very important form that you need to get familiar with if you're going to be in that close to $20,000 mark. So, spoiler alert, I went ahead and claimed all that shipping stuff to the best of my ability because I didn't save everything. And then I had those letters proving how much I spent. And then I had the PayPal documents proving how much I spent as well. So after claiming all that I spent and after claiming, everything on that form, I actually got paid $700. And I haven't really, mentioned that much, but I went from losing $9,000 to $10,000 because of not knowing, basically, to gaining 700 because I took a loss that year. So essentially, the IRS thought that I pocketed $26,000. Well, guess what, people? You cannot produce value from nothing. I guess if you can, go to Etsy. Maybe you can quilt something. I don't know. But even if you're quilting, Deezit, you still have to get the frickin' stuff to make
Supplies.
the damn quilt.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the IRS essentially thought that, I was printing magic cards in my basement, which would be illegal, everyone. No, we don't do that. But anyway, yeah, we didn't make $26,000 and pay $0. So basically we said, hey, we paid 30 grand and we got back 26 grand, with all these fees and everything. So, it came full circle and it ended up working out. But I had a really graphic wife for a really long time. And it scared the crap out of me. And I mean, it was a while that I thought that I was going to like have my wages garnished or something crazy. Everyone was giving me these horror stories about how the IRS can go into your bank and just take all your money out. Like I was legit worried about my family's well-being because of a hobby. So with my experience of this terrible, terrible act of taxation, everyone needs to understand that if you document, even if you buy a box of cards, you buy Amonkhet this weekend for $100, you buy a sealed box, keep your receipt, because if you sell anything from that lot, you have proof that it wasn't just given to you for free. You didn't print them in your basement. It wasn't free, and you paid for it already. And if you're paying for sealed product in LGS, you're paying a tax. There's no need to pay taxes twice. That's not what we're here to do. So, with all of that said, and let me recoup my salivation, Deezit, can you please tell me your thoughts on this?
Okay. Well, first of all, to our international listeners and viewers, I'm sure your country or government or whatever has their own tax bullcrap going on. But yeah, basically, I mean, yeah, you pretty much said it all. We're not printing stuff in our basements. We are paying taxes on it, and you don't need to be a freaking accountant or IRS agent to do this. Just keep track of stuff as much as you can, be it digitally or in paper. Um, I know I haven't really done that, but I haven't even hit like 1% or maybe 2% of $20,000, so I'm not overly worried about it.
Thank you, Deezit, for adding that information. I don't want to forget about our international viewers out there, so that is a very good reminder to them. Remember, you do exceed that IRS reporting threshold, they will send you the 1099K early of the next year. So if they need any further information from you, they should contact you. Unfortunately, with my situation, they just didn't contact me. So I'm assuming there's some, bad luck in my case, and maybe you would have some better information and earlier information than I did. But if you do exceed that amount, things should start to the ball should roll automatically. 1099 should go to you and it should go to the IRS. And then that gives you the ability to then claim that stuff that I had to do late. So let's just hope that, all of you guys are already aware of all this stuff. I know that there's a lot of you not, and you're freaked out right now. So here are the bullet points to remember. Bullet point number 1, keep all of your receipts, people. LGS, online, it doesn't matter. Keep your receipts. Also, if you're buying shipping product, envelopes, bubble mailers, stamps, and when you get extra tracking, all of that stuff, keep it, because it's more proof to show that you paid into your hobby or your individual business. It proves that all of this money wasn't created out of thin air. Also shows that you didn't print those cards yourself and that you have already paid a tax on them once. And you don't need to do it again. Bullet point number 2, don't ignore your mail, whether it's from PayPal or eBay or IRS or some bank that you don't even bank with. Open it, read it, make sure it's junk, shred it. If it's not junk, keep it. Bullet point number 3, your threshold is $20,000. When I first researched this, when I was going through it the first time, it also said that like 200 some transactions was also a threshold. I haven't found that again, but if someone else can enlighten us and let us know in the comments below, that'd be great. But we do know for a fact that the threshold value-wise is $20,000. If you're exceeding it or getting close, this is very important information for you. Bullet point number 4. What the hell was that?
My phone, ignore it.
Oh, man. Okay, now I have to rethink what the hell bullet point number 4 is. Oh, I remember. Bullet point number 4. If you have a significant other, why don't you have them get a PayPal account too? That's right. This is a great way of splitting up that 20K. Hell, make it 40K. Because if you and a spouse both have a PayPal, have those incoming funds get split up to both of you. So if you want to make 30 grand, split up 15 each, neither of you pass that threshold, no paperwork to worry about. Bullet point number 5. Just because I'm a police officer doesn't mean I can't give you good information. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this new edition episode. It is episode 101, so changing things up is kind of fun. Hopefully for 102, the dear guts will be off of Yanni's car, so he'll be with us and we can talk more about the 400,000 card lot that we purchased together. Much more information to come there. We can talk more about cute puppy binder spins and chroma spin binder and buying a sealed box of revised. Lots of really cool stuff that we can talk if Yanni actually shows up. So on behalf of the Puka Minute team, Yanni's Card Kingdom, and Strictly Average's blog, and also D's7, the cutest little Johnny kitty cat you could ever see.
Meow.
We are out, and hopefully you guys can take a second to check out this new disclaimer. Peace.
See ya.